A poor cleaning lady blew bubbles to calm a boy having a meltdown, unaware that the millionaire CEO was watching. And what he did surprised the entire company. Before we get into the story, leave a comment telling us where you're watching from. And at the end, don't forget to rate this story from 0 to 10. Enjoy. Lily Carter froze in the hallway, still holding her cleaning bucket. Just a few feet away, she saw a boy sitting on the floor, hugging his knees, rocking back and forth. His eyes were wide, like he was seeing something no one else could. People backed away. No one said a word to him. He's having another episode. A woman whispered on the phone. Is the nanny here yet? A manager murmured. Don't get too close, a tense security guard warned. Right at that moment, Nathaniel Blake saw the scene on the security cameras. It was his son in the lobby having a meltdown alone. He dropped everything, rushed out of his office that ignored his assistant calling his name, hit the elevator button 3 times. When it didn't come, he ran down the stairs, his heart pounding. But Lily didn't hesitate. She sat down on the floor near the boy. She didn't touch him. She didn't speak. She simply unzipped her apron pocket and pulled out a small, almost empty bottle of dish soap. She added a bit of water and blew a bubble. Then another, and another. The boy stopped rocking. His breathing slowed. His panicked eyes followed a gentle, silent bubble drifting through the air. That was when Nathaniel, exhausted and out of breath, reached the lobby and stopped in his tracks. Right there in the center of the hall, his son was calm, sitting on the floor, quietly watching soap bubbles dance in the air. And in front of him, a woman he'd never seen before wearing cleaning clothes, hair pinned up with a pin, blew another bubble with quiet focus. No one moved. No one spoke. Owen, his son, wasn't crying or screaming. He was just watching. Nathaniel blinked, stunned. He knew the signs of a full-blown meltdown, and he also knew how rare it was for one to stop without professional help. Mr. Blake, a security guard, whispered when he noticed him. Nathaniel raised a hand for silence. Lily, unaware of what was happening around her, stayed seated, blowing small bubbles, one at a time, as if each one had a purpose. Owen looked at her. His shoulders dropped. He reached out to touch a bubble. When it popped gently against his finger, he let out a tiny, almost silent laugh. Lily smiled too, only then realizing someone was behind her. She turned slowly and froze when she saw the company so standing there, tall, serious, dressed in a perfect dark suit, intense eyes. Nathaniel stood just a few steps away, watching her with an unreadable expression. I'm sorry, Lily said quickly, getting to her feet. I thought he needed help. No one was doing anything, and I didn't touch him. I just blew bubbles. Nathaniel looked at his son, then back at her. He usually takes hours to calm down, he said quietly. You did it in 2 minutes. He calmed himself, Lily replied, adjusting her apron. I just stayed nearby. Sometimes that's all it takes. Owen now looked at them both, curious. His eyes were still wet, but he seemed fully present. Nathaniel stepped closer, knelt down gently, and asked his son, Are you okay now? Owen nodded. It was her, he whispered. The bubble lady. Lily smiled. Yep, that's my superpower. Bubbles and plungers. Works every time. Nathaniel stood slowly, eyes still on her. You work here? As a cleaner, yes. Outsourced. Morning shift. 3 months in, lots of coffee. No raise, she said, trying to hide her nerves with a bit of humor. What's your name? Lily Carter. Nathaniel held out his hand. Nathaniel Blake. Yeah, I figured. Your face is on the walls, the security badges, the website, the elevators, pretty much everywhere but the toilet paper. He almost smiled. I'd like to speak with you, Miss Carter. Would you come with me in my office? Her eyes widened. Look, I swear I didn't teach your kid magic or give him candy. It was just soap. Nathaniel gave a subtle nod too. The security guard, Owen, seeing Lily walk away, reached out his hand and said, Come back. She crouched down. If you want more bubbles, I'll bring a lemon-scented one tomorrow, but only if you promise to smile more than once. The boys smiled. Nathaniel watched quietly. Once they were in the elevator, Lily took a deep breath. Just curious. Am I getting fired? I haven't decided yet, Nathaniel replied as the doors closed. The elevator rose in complete silence. Lily watched the numbers blink. With every floor that passed, Her anxiety grew. She had never gone higher than the third floor, where the bathrooms she cleaned every morning were located. "Breathe, Lily," she muttered to herself, adjusting the strand of hair that had escaped her makeshift ponytail. When the doors opened on the 25th floor, she almost choked. Nathaniel Blake's office took up the entire floor. Floor-to-ceiling windows showed Chicago stretching all the way to the horizon. Dark wood furniture, expensive abstract paintings, and a silence that probably cost more than her yearly salary. "Please have a seat," Nathaniel said, pointing to one of the leather armchairs in front of his desk. Lily perched on the edge of the chair, as if ready to bolt at any moment. Her sweaty hands squeezed the cleaning rag she'd forgotten in her pocket. "Mr. Blake, I can explain. I know I shouldn't have gotten involved, but the boy was—" "Miss Carter," he interrupted, sitting down behind the desk. "Do you have children?" The question caught her off guard. "No, sir, I'm single. No kids, no boyfriend, no plans that last more than 2 weeks." Nathaniel almost smiled at her blunt honesty. "Owen, my son, is 7. He lost his mother 2 years ago in a car accident. Since then, he's had episodes of emotional instability, anxiety attacks, panic attacks. We've gone through 5 therapists, 3 specialized nannies, and 2 doctors. Nothing has worked like what you did today." Lily blinked, processing his words. "Sir, I just blew bubbles. It wasn't anything scientific." "Exactly," Nathaniel said, getting up and walking to the window. "The experts try to analyze, diagnose, medicate. You simply showed up." Lily shifted in the chair, uncomfortable. "Look, I'm sorry for your loss. It must be terrible for a child. But if you're thinking of promoting me to nanny, I'm not talking about a promotion." Nathaniel interrupted, turning to face her. "I'm talking about a different proposal." "What kind of proposal?" Nathaniel took a deep breath, like he was about to jump off a cliff. "I want you to spend a few hours a week with Owen. Not as a nanny, not as a therapist, just as the person who managed to calm him with soap bubbles." Lily laughed, a genuine laugh that echoed through the quiet office. "You're joking, right? You want me, a janitor who can barely take care of herself, to take care of your son? Not take care of him. Just be with him." "Mr. Blake, with all due respect, that's the craziest idea I've ever heard. You don't even know me. I could be a terrible person. I could teach him bad words, let him eat candy for breakfast, or watch horror movies. Would you do that?" "Of course not. But you don't know that." Nathaniel stepped closer to the desk, resting his hands on the polished mahogany surface. "Miss Carter, I saw the way you looked at my son. There was no pity, no fear, no impatience. There was kindness. And for the first time in 2 years, I saw Owen smile. Really smile." Lily felt her chest tighten. She stood up from the chair and walked to the window. "You don't get it? I clean bathrooms at 5 in the morning. I live in a 1-bedroom apartment with 2 cockroaches I named Tom and Jerry. My idea of a fancy dinner is instant noodles with an egg. I have nothing in common with you." "Maybe that's exactly what Owen needs," Nathaniel murmured. Before Lily could answer, the office door burst open. Owen ran in, followed by a woman in a blue suit who looked frantic. "I'm sorry, Mr. Blake." He slipped away when I opened the car door, the woman said, clearly a nanny or assistant. Owen ignored everyone and ran straight to Lily. "Bubble Lady, you came back." Lily knelt down automatically, meeting the boy's eyes. "Hey, champ, how are you?" "Better. Sarah said you were leaving forever. Is that true?" Lily glanced at Nathaniel over Owen's head. The CEO watched the exchange with an intense expression. "Well, your dad and I were just talking about that." "Dad." Owen turned to Nathaniel, eyes shining. "Can she stay, please? She makes bubbles and doesn't yell when I get sad." The silence that followed was heavy with emotion. Lily felt something stir in her chest, a feeling she hadn't had in a long time. "Owen," Nathaniel said softly, "Miss Lily has her job, and we can't." "I can come on Wednesdays and Saturdays," Lily interrupted, surprising herself. 2 hours each day. "But I have conditions." Nathaniel raised his eyebrows. "Conditions?" "First, no nannies watching me or giving me instructions. If you don't trust me, it's better not to start." "I agree," Nathaniel said right away. "Second condition, no cameras or recordings. Owen needs to feel free to be a kid, not part of some experiment." Nathaniel hesitated for a moment, then nodded. "Third, I'm not a therapist, psychologist, or expert. I'm just a regular person. If you're expecting miracles, you're going to be disappointed. And the fourth condition? Nathaniel asked. Lily smiled, looking at Owen. If he doesn't want me around anymore, I'll leave. No drama. No explanations. It's always his decision. I want you, Owen said right away. I really do. Nathaniel walked over and held out his hand to Lily. Then we have a deal, Miss Carter. Lily shook his hand, feeling how firm his grip was and the honesty in his eyes. Just call me Lily. And for the record, I still think you're all a little crazy. Owen laughed and clapped his hands. Dad, she said she's just as crazy as we are. Nathaniel smiled, a real smile that completely changed his face. No, Owen, she said with the crazy ones. She's the sensible one here. Oh, I don't know about that, Lily said, taking Owen's hand. A sensible person wouldn't agree to take care of a kid she just met. I think we've officially entered the realm of shared madness. And for the first time in a long while, the CEO office of Blake Tech was filled with the sound of laughter. The next day, Lily stopped in front of the most impressive residential building she had ever seen. 40 floors of glass and steel stretched up like a crystal tower in the heart of Chicago. The doorman, dressed in a uniform that probably cost more than her entire wardrobe, looked at her with suspicion. Good afternoon. I'm here to see Owen Blake, she said, trying to sound confident. Full name and ID, please. Lily Carter. And here's my ID, she replied, handing over a document that was a little worn. The doorman typed something into a sleek tablet, frowning. You're not on the guest list. Look, I know I look suspicious wearing a Monday outfit on a Wednesday. But Mr. Bob, Blake hired me to spend time with Owen. Kind of like a babysitter, but not exactly. One moment, after a few minutes of whispered phone calls and doubtful glances, Lily was finally allowed in. The private elevator to the top floor had golden buttons and mirrors everywhere. She saw her reflection repeating endlessly inside. I definitely don't belong here, she muttered to herself. When the doors opened straight into the penthouse, Lily froze. The apartment was bigger than the whole building she lived in. High ceilings, a minimalist decor in shades of gray and white, and artwork that probably cost more than she could earn in 10 lifetimes. Wow, this place is like a museum, she said out loud without realizing it. You must be Lily. She turned to see an elegant, middle-aged woman with her hair in a perfect bun and a serious expression. I'm Margaret, the housekeeper. Mr. Blake had to step out for an emergency meeting, but Owen is in his room. Okay, and where's his room in this small city? Margaret pointed down a hallway that seemed to go on forever. Third door on the left. Be careful with the vacuum robot. It's motion-sensitive. Lily walked down the hallway, admiring the paintings on the walls. Suddenly, a small round thing came out from behind a plant, making mechanical noises. She jumped back, stumbling over her own feet. What is that thing? She nearly yelled. The little robot stopped, made a few beeping sounds, and resumed its quiet cleaning. That's just Max, the vacuum robot, Owen said, appearing at his bedroom door with a shy smile. He doesn't bite. Eh, Sean? Wow, you scared me. I thought it was some kind of alien or something, Lily said, still catching her breath. Owen laughed, a soft sound that echoed down the empty hallway. Want to see my room? Sure. Owen's room was the size of Lily's entire apartment. A race car-shaped bed, shelves full of color-coded books, and toys neatly arranged like a showroom. Everything was perfect. Everything was cold. Wow, Owen, your room is amazing. But where's the mess? Dirty socks on the floor? Toys everywhere? Margaret always puts everything back, he said with a shrug. I see. And do you like it that way? Owen paused, glancing around. Sometimes I wish it felt more like a real room. Lily sat on the bed and patted the spot next to her. Come here. Let's talk about that. But first, she pulled a small bubble bottle out of her pocket. A promise is a promise. Lemon-scented bubbles. Owen's eyes lit up. He sat beside her, and together they started blowing bubbles. Some small, some large and lazy, floating around the room. You know what's missing here? Lily asked. What? Music. Every room needs a soundtrack. She took out her phone and played a soft, gentle song. For the first time since she'd arrived, Owen let his shoulders relax. Now that's better, Lily said. How about we do something different? Like what? Let's have a picnic right here on the floor. But we don't have any food. Who says a picnic needs real food? Lily stood up and started pulling pillows off the bed, spreading them out on the rug. Make-believe picnics are way better. You get to choose whatever you want to eat. Owen joined in, sitting on the floor. I want chocolate pizza with French fry ice cream. EW, that's disgustingly delicious, Lily laughed. I want a cloud sandwich with rainbow juice. They spent the next few minutes eating the most ridiculous things they could imagine, laughing at the crazy combos. Owen talked about school, about classmates who didn't understand why he sometimes felt sad for no reason. Lily listened closely, asking simple questions and offering hugs when he needed them. From the hallway, hidden behind a slightly open door, Nathaniel watched. He'd come back early from a meeting and found his son genuinely happy for the first time in months. A slow smile spread across his face as he listened to the laughter coming from the room. What a touching scene. The cold voice behind him made him turn around. Diana Worthington, Owen's godmother, and one of the most influential socialites in Chicago, stood in the hallway, her expression full of disdain. Diana, I didn't know you were coming today. Clearly, otherwise, you wouldn't have left that woman alone with Owen. Nathaniel's jaw tightened. Lily is here because I asked her to be. Nathaniel, dear, I know you're going through a rough time, but hiring a cleaning lady to care for Owen? That's madness. She's not a cleaning lady hired to take care of him. She's, what, your new girlfriend? Diana gave a harsh, unpleasant laugh. Please, Nathaniel, this woman is obviously after your money. It's the oldest trick in the book. Owen's laugh echoed down the hallway right then, clear and real. Nathaniel and Diana turned toward the bedroom door. Listen to that, Nathaniel said quietly. When was the last time you heard Owen laugh like that? That's not the point. The point is that you're being manipulated by some gold digger. Diana? Nathaniel's voice was dangerously calm. I suggest you leave. Now, Nathaniel Blake, you've completely lost your mind. Victoria must be rolling in her grave, seeing what you're doing with her son. The mention of his late wife hit him like a punch. Nathaniel clenched his fists, fighting the anger rising inside him. Get out of my house. Now. Diana stared at him for a moment, then turned sharply and walked toward the elevator. This won't end well, Nathaniel. And when it doesn't, don't say I didn't warn you. When the elevator doors closed, Nathaniel took a deep breath and looked back toward the bedroom. Lily and Owen were now making Play-Doh from something she'd pulled out of her bag, chatting happily about shapes and colors. For the first time in 2 years, the house felt like a home. And for the first time since Victoria's death, Nathaniel felt that maybe, just maybe, they were going to be okay. A week after the scene with Diana, Nathaniel found himself typing and erasing the same message for the 5th time. It was Friday afternoon, and he was in his office, trying to write a dinner invitation that didn't sound too formal or too casual. I'd like to invite you to dinner as a thank you for your work with Owen. He deleted it. Too businesslike. How about dinner tomorrow? Too forward. Could be taken the wrong way. Owen and I would like to invite you to dinner. Not true. Owen didn't even know about the invite. Finally, he went with something simple. Lily, I'd like to invite you to dinner tomorrow at 8 p.m. as a thank you. Nathaniel. He hit send before he could change his mind again. The reply came 15 minutes later. Seriously? Like real dinner? With forks and knives and everything? Okay, but if there are more than 3 utensils, I'm leaving. Lily, Nathaniel laughed to himself in the empty office. She was definitely not like any woman he'd ever met. Lily had been standing in front of the bathroom mirror for 2 hours, trying to decide if she looked ridiculous or just out of place. The black dress she'd rented from a secondhand shop looked fine, but she felt like a kid playing dress-up in grown-up clothes. Breathe, Lily. It's just dinner. Dinner with a man who probably eats caviar for breakfast, sure, but still just dinner. She muttered to her reflection. She arrived at the building right at 8 p.m. after circling the block 3 times to gather her courage. The doorman, the same as before, greeted her with a slightly warmer smile. Good evening, Miss Carter. Mr. Blake is expecting you. When the elevator doors opened at the penthouse, Lily found Nathaniel waiting for her. He had traded his formal suit for a dark blue dress shirt and casual slacks. Still, he managed to look effortlessly elegant in a way she knew she never could. Good evening, Lily. You look beautiful. Thank you. You also look not terrible, she replied, instantly regretting it. Sorry. When I'm nervous, I say weird things, and I'm very nervous because I've never had dinner in a penthouse bigger than the neighborhood I grew up in. Nathaniel smiled, as she noticed her shoulders relax a little. Owen's asleep? Yes, but he insisted on picking the wine. Lily's eyes widened. Owen picked wine? Grape juice. He said it's kid wine and goes with anything. That boy's a genius. Nathaniel led her to the dining room, where a table for two was set with understated elegance. Candles, flowers, crystal gleaming under the soft light. Romantic in a way that made Lily feel completely out of place. Nathaniel, this is beautiful, but you didn't have to. I mean, I'm just the person who blows bubbles with your son. You didn't need all this. Ritual? He finished for her, pulling out her chair. Yes, exactly. Ritual. They sat, and a slightly awkward silence hung in the air until Lily decided to break it the only way she knew how. So, this table has more silverware than a hospital. What's this tiny spoon for? Doll food. Nathaniel laughed. It's for dessert. Oh, makes sense. And this little fork? Salad. Of course. And here I was thinking it was in case the food tried to escape. The arrival of the first course saved Nathaniel from answering. It was something sophisticated and artistically arranged that Lily couldn't identify. What is this? She asked, poking it gently with her fork. Salmon tartare, with wasabi emulsion and microgreens. Lily stared at him for a moment. Okay, I'm going to pretend I understood that and eat it anyway. She took a small bite and made an involuntary face. Is it bad? Nathaniel asked, worried. No, not bad. It's just that it tastes like raw fish with mint toothpaste. Nathaniel nearly choked on his wine. Lily, you don't have to eat it if you don't like it. No. Sorry, I have zero filter. It's just that my taste is more basic. Pizza, burgers, pasta, things that don't need an instruction manual. Note to self, next dinner, pizza. Next dinner? Lily raised an eyebrow. Confident, aren't you? Hopeful, he corrected, and something in his tone made Lily's heart skip. As the night went on, the conversation began to flow more naturally. Lily shared stories about her childhood in Detroit, about coming to Chicago, chasing opportunities that never arrived, and her dream of one day opening a daycare for children from working families. Why kids? Nathaniel asked. Because they're honest. If a kid doesn't like you, they'll say it to your face. If they do, they give you a hug that fixes any bad day. Adults are complicated. Kids are pure. Even the ones with emotional struggles. Especially those. They're just trying to process a world that's too big, too loud, too scary. They just need someone who understands they can't always be strong. Nathaniel watched her in silence for a moment. You talk like someone who's been there. Lily toyed with her napkin, avoiding his eyes. Everyone's felt too small for the world at some point. The difference is adults get better at hiding it. And can you hide it? Clearly not, she laughed. Here I am, in $1 million penthouse, wearing a rented dress, talking about salmon that tastes like toothpaste. If that's not showing all my flaws at once, I don't know what is. Maybe that's exactly what makes you so refreshing. Refreshing is a fancy word for clumsy, isn't it? No. Refreshing is a word for someone who isn't afraid to be real. The moment was interrupted by the arrival of the main course, but the air between them had shifted. It wasn't awkward anymore. It felt closer to anticipation. Can I ask you something? Lily said, cutting into what looked like the most expensive steak in history. Of course. Why did you really invite me? And don't give me the thank you line. You could have sent an overpriced fruit basket or a golden card. Why dinner? Nathaniel paused, fork in midair. Honest answer? Always. Because for the past 2 weeks, Owen wakes up smiling on Thursdays, knowing you were here on Wednesday. Because he talks about you during breakfast and asks if he can call you when he has nightmares. And because he paused because it's been a long time since I met someone who makes me laugh without trying to impress me. Lily felt her face grow warm. Nathaniel. Dad. They both turned, surprised. Owen was standing at the entrance of the dining room, wearing the floral apron Lily had forgotten in the kitchen the week before. It hung huge on him, dragging on the floor, but he wore it proudly. Owen, you're supposed to be in bed, Nathaniel said, getting up. But I woke up and saw the lights, and I smelled something good. Owen looked at Lily. Lily, do you like my apron? It looks great on you, champ, but that's a cooking apron. Are you planning to make something? Yes. Owen clapped his hands, excited. I want to cook with you. You promised to teach me how to make cookies that don't burn. Lily looked at Nathaniel, who seemed torn between amusement and frustration. Owen, Lily and I are having dinner. Maybe tomorrow. But Dad, she's here now, and I can't sleep because I keep thinking about the cookies. Please? Owen. Nathaniel's voice carried a warning tone. It's okay. Lily cut in, standing up. How about this? We finish dinner quickly, and then we make cookies. Just a simple recipe. Something we can make with whatever's already in the kitchen. Really? Owen's eyes lit up. Nathaniel ran a hand through his hair, clearly frustrated by the interruption, but unable to say no to something that made his son so happy. All right, but first, go back to your room, brush your teeth, and put on your pajamas. And after we make,